Welcome to our latest video trip report for our project Summit Songs and Science.
This is our report for Mount Whitney, California's high point. Our trip began with a flight from Denver to Los Angeles. We flew by Sawatch Range. We got this spectacular view of the highest point in Colorado, you might remember from our last trip, Mount Elbert, and many of Colorado's 100 highest points, which are part of our project. On April 26th, the next day after arriving in LA, we visited Badwater Basin. We love climbing high points, but this was a unique opportunity to visit something completely different. The lowest point, not just in California and United States, but of the entire Western Hemisphere.
And as you can see what the sign says, it's 282 feet, but it's below sea level. And behind us there is a trail we took to do this 1 mile hike in the heat.
2 miles round trip.
Yeah, it was 107 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what the car read as we stepped out. And the Badwater Basin is this dried up lake bed. As the water evaporated, it left behind all this salt, which you see in the picture here.
And hiking 2 miles in that heat was, as short as it was brutal. We also visited the Mesquite sand dunes, which many of you may remember from Star Wars, the first movie, C-3PO and R2-D2 and Tatooine. The next day, we began our Ascent of Whitney, which we did in 3 days. The first day we went from the Whitney portal at 8,300 feet above sea level, up through these lakes. Most people were camping here in Lone Pine. We continued through the snow all the way up to here. This picture is probably July, right?
Yeah.
From Google Earth. But our conditions were a lot snowier. So we made it up to 12,300, our high camp.
This is us at the start of the trail there with our heavy packs, and you can see we're wearing short sleeves. Really hot weather lower down.
This is close to the Whitney portal, hiking up. Here's Juliana with a really heavy pack, full 40 pounds.
And yeah, we already started to encounter snow at around the 10,000 foot mark, and we saw these beautiful trees called sequoias, which are hundreds to thousands of years old.
The views were incredible. We got to see these granite walls, typical of California. Then transitioned into more snow. We changed into alpine gear, got a lot colder. And we made it up to our high camp at 12,300, where the next day, our ascent route from there was up this slope and behind this whole range to the summit of Whitney. This picture is a summer picture. This was all full of snow. This summer trail you can see here is zigzags, does the famous 99 switchbacks and it ends up here. But this was all covered in snow, so it was easier to go up this crampon up that slope.
And this is a picture of what that slope looked like. On average, 35 to about 45 degrees.
We used crampons and ice axe. Here's Juliana climbing.
Definitely firm snow early on in the morning. And then once we got to the top of the slope, it's beautiful to be able to see the other side, the western part. And this is the views that we saw, these huge granite walls. And there's Ricardo there in the shade there.
And the Sierras in the background. Beautiful. Sierra Nevada. This is part of the trail. We continue on the trail as we went for the summits.
And this is the last mile. So it's typically the summer trail is very easy walking, but because you saw the shadows there and there's a lot of snow still around because it's the spring, made it a little more tricky where you had to hop on boulders and pay attention to your footwork.
Yeah, get off the trail because it was covered in snow completely. As you approach the summit, you see the summit house or hut, which was full of snow. It's not really used other than, I think, some rescue gear, right? That they keep.
And so there we are, officially at California's highest point.
14,505. This was the highest point in the United States until Alaska was added to the country. And here's a video we shot from the summit. Highest point in California. Great conditions. With this climb, I have now done the high points for 36 states.
And this was my 9th.
Which is not bad, actually, because you haven't been really pursuing state high points,
I
right?
had not.
So it took us 3 hours and 12 minutes to go from high camp to the summit. It was early. The weather was good. We were feeling fresh. So we decided to go get other 14,000 foot points or summits. And we first went for Keeler Needle right here, which is 14,245. And while I got this summit, Juliana got a snow sample. She went to gather snow samples for her research. And then she climbed this one, and we met at the top of Crooks Peak, this one, at 14,174 feet. This next video you're going to see is shot near the summit of Keeler Needle.
And as I came back from snow sampling, I took a look up and saw that little dot up here, and that's Ricardo on the summit. And then I headed over to go to the top of Crooks Peak.
Next video I shot from this saddle where she's standing, and look at the end, you'll see her summiting at the end of the video.
That's the first spire after our needle, after Mount Whitney, and now I'm climbing the second one. Check it out. Look at this wall. It's just amazing. Incredible, huh? That's my goal. Get that. I don't have the names right now of these summits, but I'll have them later.
Then we went for Mount Muir. This was the most technical of the 14ers we did that day. It's around 14,012 feet. And the video you're going to see is of Ricardo going up, climbing, where it gets really, really interesting, right?
Yeah, it was tricky climbing. It's definitely a tricky climb without a rope.
All right, so here we are about to climb to the top of Mount Muir. And you see to the left here the zigzags. That's the summer route that comes up for climbing. And then in the middle of this couloir, you can see a bunch of zigzags. That's the route we took to come up. Made it a very interesting climb. And this is the final approach. It's Mount Muir, the top of Mount Muir. A bit of scrambling, extra scrambling. Here's Ricardo.
Here's a picture I took of Juliana climbing Mount Muir. This is one of the exposed sections, and it's especially dangerous because some of those rocks are loose, like the ones she's hanging on to.
And this is us on the summit. 14,012 feet. It's a very small summit.
Very spectacular.
Yeah, wonderful views. And you can see how pointy it is.
There it is. That's where we were, right there. From there, we descended back down the slope and back to high camp. And the next day, we had another spectacular hike down, including this view of Lone Pine Lake. After 22 miles and a total of 7,500 vertical feet climbed, we're back down at Mount Whitney Trailhead.
A little dirtier, but happy and tired.
I'm definitely tired. Yeah, it's hard work.
And then we went to the Whitney Portal store where we met the local celebrity, Doug Thompson.
He has owned and worked at the Portal store for 31 years, since 1987. He's also the author of the guidebook, for one of the main guidebooks for Whitney, and just an overall really nice guy. So part of our project is to connect with people and connect people between different states and different parts of the world. And it was great making new friends.
Absolutely.
So thank you for watching our trip report. Don't forget our new website is up and running, summitsongsandsigns.com. You'll find these videos will live there, lists of all and photographs of all the peaks we're climbing and the music videos, and coming shortly, Uli's science shorts.
Coming shortly. Thanks so much, everyone.